The Camera of Vila do Bispo showed their support for the local artists, musicians and performers. Without this support, and especially that of our dear President, Ruth Silva, the sculpture Portal of Life would have been difficult to create and most likely wouldn't have found such a breathtaking final port of call. Here, in the heart of Sagres, at the very end of Europe, it found a fitting place overlooking the sea, gazing out on the horizon. It was from here that the brave sailors of old journeyed forth into the unknown. Not so much to conquer and vanquish foreign peoples, but to find trade routes to the fabled Indias and Brazils. For the growing demand for spices and exotic fruits and woods. They brought with them a vision of Europe that, at that time, was still a place of separate kingdoms and countries in constant strife with one another. Unified only by a commonly shared religion of Judeo-Christian background, tinged with ancient Greek philosophy and Roman law, but also sharing in the vision of civilization bestowed by these common denominators. It wasn't until centuries later that the famous slogans of the French Revolution, liberty, fraternity, and equality, found their way into the scriptures of the law. And another 156 years, almost to the day, had to pass before the concept of Europe, as we know it today, arose from the ashes and the ruins of the Second World War. This is what's being celebrated today on the 8th of May. The end of World War II in 1945 and Germany's unconditional surrender to the Allied forces. The end of fascism and, most importantly, the end of war in Europe at the time. Sadly, these achievements and the resulting consciousness for a war-free Europe, united and strong, are being challenged once again at the far fringes of our continent. It is therefore even more important to find ways of integration and peaceful coexisting in the midst of the old world to continue the way we have become accustomed to living our lives. Free of fear, with equal opportunity for all sexes, creeds and ethnic backgrounds, and most importantly, in the certain hope for a better, brighter future for our children and children's children. This stability is at stake at all times and must be defended at all cost. With an abundance of freedom comes an abundance of choice, but also a greater responsibility for the choices we make. We are experiencing a crucial turning point in these challenging times. The constant crisis we all have been living through these past years seems to be the new normal. This seems to be the way things are from now on, and we might as well surrender to it. For what can the individual do to alter global events and calamities like pandemics, war, climate change, and resulting natural disasters that are affecting our status quo and threaten our security? The answer is not to give up hope. Finding the positive in day-to-day occurrences and prepare for a brighter future in the small world we find ourselves in. Helping friends and family and treating each other and all living beings with love and respect. Such small things having such a big effect on our lives. And most of all, passing on these qualities to our children, our future. This is what the Portal of Light is trying to portray. Anybody can step into the human silhouette of this monument and fill it out in his or her unique way. In the words of David Bowie, we can be heroes just for one day. The Portal of Light is a marker stone for the transition we are undergoing, a transition towards the light. It is part of the European Sculpture Path, uniting 22 countries with the intent to further peaceful dialogue and the sharing of different values and opinions through art. It is also at its most southwesterly extremity and represents an end or a starting point, depending on how we look at it. I would like to end with a quote from Martin Luther, the German Protestant reformer. Being asked what he would do if he knew that the world would end tomorrow, he replied without hesitation, "I would go out today and plant a tree." With this symbol of hope and resurrection from the old, he summarized what it is to be human. Thank you.
You should know that there's nowhere else to go. My black-eyed boy, you will find your own space and time. Black-eyed boy, you should know that there's nowhere else to go. My black-eyed boy, you will